Have you ever heard a song that shook the world, even from the comfort of your own bedroom? Eminem's new song is going viral. Its lyrics are sharp, bold, and full of meaning. In this story, we'll follow Arga, an ordinary teenager whose life changes after hearing the song. Hear how music can be a catalyst for change and feel the vibrations together. After hearing this story, leave a comment below. What song or words have you felt shaken and inspired? In the dead of night, the city's cell phone screens flash with notifications about a new song released by Eminem. The song's name was enough to make anyone pause, considering every possible word. In a dim corner of their room, a teenager named Arga stared at the screen, his heart pounding. He knew this wasn't just another song. On the city streets, the political murals he saw every day now seemed to come to life. The song's lyrics were like a mirror of the injustice he saw himself witnessing. Arga heard neighbors arguing in front of their houses about the song's content, some defending him, others condemning him, but everyone was forced to listen. The atmosphere grew tense, as if the entire city was holding its breath, waiting for his next reaction. Eminem, on the other side of the continent, was in a studio with dim lights and a microphone on. He stared at a whiteboard covered in sharp scribbles. Each verse was written with pain, anger, and honesty. He knew this song would cause controversy, but that was precisely what he wanted. His music was his weapon, and his words were his bullets. Arga played the song for the first time. The pounding rhythm and piercing lyrics left him speechless. Every sentence felt like a slap to the face of a reality he'd been trying to ignore. He felt like he was in the midst of an invisible revolution. Eminem's voice touched a part of his heart he'd always wanted to express but hadn't known how. On social media, hashtags about the song quickly rose. Reaction videos emerged from every corner of the world, from young people in cafes to lawyers speaking on television. Everyone felt compelled to speak out. Arga looked at his phone screen again, realizing that this wasn't just about the music, but about the courage to speak out. That night, the city seemed alive with new energy. Graffiti and posters previously considered ordinary now seemed like secret messages brought to life by the song. Arga felt connected to thousands of people he'd probably never met, but who felt the same way. The song became a bridge connecting social awareness with a heart that had been empty for so long. At Arga's house, his father arrived, looking solemn. He'd heard the song on the radio and was worried about its impact. But Arga remained calm, indicating that the song had opened his eyes and his mind. The two of them sat side by side, silent, listening to every word, without needing any further words. The silence was filled with unspoken messages. Before dawn, Arga wrote in his journal about that night, about the anger he felt, about the hope that began to emerge, and about the courage that came from the words of a rapper far away in America. He didn't know what would happen next. But one thing was certain. His life had changed since that song entered his ears. The next day, the city felt different. Streets that were usually bustling with the sound of traffic were now filled with whispers about Eminem's song. Arga walked through crowds of people discussing each lyric, trying to decipher the message. Each person brought their own perspective, but all felt the same vibration. At school, teachers and students fell silent as the song's video appeared on the classroom screen. What would normally be a boring discussion turned into a heated debate about justice, freedom, and social responsibility. Arga felt both proud and anxious, for the words on the screen had the power to shake the minds of so many. Meanwhile, international media highlighted the song as a global phenomenon. Articles and news stories appeared hourly, spreading differing interpretations. Arga realized that what had started as music had become a wave of change, forcing people to see the world with more open eyes. He felt part of something bigger than himself. That night, Arga sat on his balcony, listening to the song one last time. The once beating rhythm now felt deeper, more personal. Each verse seemed to lead him to find courage within himself. He closed his eyes, feeling the energy flowing, as if the words had ignited a flame that had been extinguished. In a studio far away in America, Eminem watched the reactions of millions of people. He smiled faintly, realizing that the song's purpose had been achieved. His music had become a mirror displaying truth and courage. But most importantly, He knew that the message had reached the heart of a teenager in a small town who might grow up to be a voice of change in the future. In the following days, the city began to change. Murals and graffiti that had once been mere decorations became symbols of resistance and hope. Arga and his friends began organizing discussions and small social activities. Inspired by the song, Eminem's word became the catalyst that moved them to do something real. One afternoon, Arga stood in the city park, watching people talking, smiling, and moving together. He realized that even though a song was just a work of art, it had the power to raise awareness and inspire action. Arga felt small, yet at the same time part of a larger, unstoppable wave. As the sun set, Arga closed his journal and smiled. That silent night felt different from the previous one. The song might stop playing on the radio or on mobile phones, but the echo of its message would live on in the hearts of those willing to listen. Arga took a deep breath, ready to face tomorrow with newfound courage.